All right, everybody, we are live with Power Your Story with our student producers. Let me go ahead and pop our welcome up onto the screen. Producers.
Okay. Welcome to Power Your Story podcast, Open Mic Thursday. Today we're talking about Halloween hot takes.
All right, who has our first Halloween hot take? What do you guys think? What are your opinions about Halloween? David, start us off.
There are some reasons I like about Halloween is I like to decorate the house with Halloween decorations. Sometimes I like to have my little brother to do trick or treat for him and watch scary movies.
Scary movies. Who else is into scary movies here? No one? No scary movies? Yes? No? Rose, what do
Okay,
you think about scary movies?
personally, I really like horror movies, but at the same time, there are times where I will admit I am making fun of them just a little bit because I find like some parts really funny, and I call out the characters when I'm alone watching a movie. I call out the characters of like, why would you do this when they should do something else? But personally, I like horror movies. They're kind of funny.
Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, I sometimes find like old school looking horror movie characters and like the old school movies from like the 80s like so funny to me because it is supposed to be scary, but it also has like this thriller take where it's scary, but it's also funny at the same time because I personally never watched any horror movies myself as a kid. I think the first ever horror movie I watched, and I was very, very little, and my parents did not want me to watch it at all. It was like the early 2000 movie of Annabelle the doll, and I remember was actually very scared by it. I don't have that much many memories of it, but all I remember is for some reason when I was younger, I never was really a fan of horror movies, but I love horror games, and I also love the horror movie franchise and the characters. So I'm thinking about one day I might start binge watching a bunch of old school horror movies.
Um, Yesenia says, I find horror movies kind of boring. Anybody else? That's a hot take. David?
For me, I don't think like the whole movie's kind of boring unless it's because they don't find something scary, like something's not scary about it. There's some like horror movies that are not actually scary. For example, like the remake of the Friday the 13th from 2009, and also the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010. Both of them is not really that scary because I don't get it why, but I wish the next time they're gonna make the remakes like this, find someone that who could do like very scary for those characters.
Mila, you were going to say something a minute ago.
I was gonna make a comment to Yesenia's comment when she said horror movies is kind of boring. I kind of think that's like a crazy take, but I can understand why people say it's boring because like some horror movies do have it can be very repetitive, especially slasher horror movies. And that's crazy because slasher horror movies is like my favorite genre, but like every single last one of the movies have like almost the same concept, so I can understand how that can be boring. But like other genres of horror movies, nah, that stuff would literally be having me on the edge of my seat. I'm sorry.
Jason.
Yes, horror movies are not for everybody, and I'm not saying that I'm not a fan of horror movies myself. I just haven't gotten the chance to watch any of it. But I think some of the horror movies that are not so scary, I remember David telling me the other day. It was something to do with Alien versus Predator, and he told me like it was more focused on like action related stuff rather than just being horror. Because sometimes horror can also be involved with a lot of action. Like if somebody were to be so scared of the killer that's out to get them, and later on in the movie they start to find out what or who they are, and they find out what their weakness is, it kind of just bumps up to like a music where like they start to become more like a protagonist, like a hero, and they eventually start to kill the killer or manage to get away or escape from the area that was previously haunted. Like for example, Camp Crystal Lake, that's where Jason Voorhees is, and the way you would escape is you would find some spare parts to start the car, and then once you start finding all the survivors, then you could escape Camp Crystal Lake. And since Jason Voorhees can't stalk people, he can only stalk from his territory, which is Camp Crystal Lake, because that's where he mostly resides, and that's basically his territory. So I just find it very interesting, and it's a very interesting hot take. And one thing I will comment is Yesenia says one of the best horror movie franchises, in my opinion, is It, which is Pennywise. I kind of agree because Pennywise is honestly a creep. Like, imagine like you see him in real life and he manifests into something that you are mostly afraid of, like one of your worst fears in existence. And I just find him very interesting.
David.
I agree with Yesenia's opinion that her best movie franchise is It. I gotta agree with it because I like the It movies. I like because there's some people like afraid of clowns if you're afraid of them. And I also can do the Pennywise voice impression about it because that's one of my favorites on Halloween season. And I can do something like this. Where you going, Ed? You live here, you be home by now. Come join the clown dance. You float down here. We all float down here. Yes, we do.
David, I'm going to have nightmares. Thank you for that. um, Anthony, what do you think? I think it might just be freezing a little bit, Anthony. We can hear you.
My Halloween / horror movie versus Freddy and Peanut.
I think Anthony said Jason versus Freddy before he cut out. Did anybody else watch that? These are like characters from the 80s. Does anybody? I mean, they carried on a long time. Mila?
Like I said, I've watched pretty much all of the infamous like slasher horror movies, Freddy versus Jason, like any of the Jason horror movies, any of the Friday the 13th or Michael Myers themes movies. I watched all of them because one of my parents, they're like big fans of horror movies too, and my dad, he's a really big fan of slasher horror movies because those was a big thing when he came out and when he was growing up. So I pretty much grew up off of the movies that he liked. So I like those movies. But my favorite genre of like horror movie is probably like paranormal things, like the Conjuring universe. That has to do with like Annabelle, Lorraine, and Ed, and just I don't know. I just like that whole genre. It's very tea.
Hold on 1 second. Brandon, what do you think? Do you like horror movies or no? Uh-oh, Brandon just disappeared. Do you see where to unmute? Click the microphone. Uh-oh, he just logged himself out. What about you, Brian? Do you like horror movies?
What is a horror movies?
Scary movies.
Well, I don't really much watch scary movies.
You don't watch scary movies at all?
Not that much.
Do you play scary video games?
No, I never play scary video games. But I would like to try playing that one day.
We have yes, we have a comment from James. David, do you want to read James's comment?
Sure. But I also like to comment on that, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
All right. James says he loves horror games. He finds them very entertaining.
I know Jason also mentioned horror games. What are some good horror games? Jason?
Oh goodness, there's like so many, even like ones that were like during like the golden age of gaming, when there was like the Wii consoles, and there used to be like all the other consoles that have had a bunch of horror games. We have Resident Evil, we have Silent Hill, Alien Isolation, and Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a very popular one. We have SCP Containment Breach. We also have Slender Man. And there's just like so many horror games and franchises that are based off of like natural phenomena, whether if it's based off of a killer. And yes, Yesenia, there's also Dead by Daylight, which is a good game in my opinion, even though I don't play it as much. And yes, Resident Evil is the best. Finally, someone who is a huge fan of Resident Evil, just like me. And to put it simply, there's so many Resident. I apologize. What I was going to say is there's so many horror games that I could go on and on about, but this is a hot take here. So for my hot take, honestly, in my opinion, I don't get the hype of candy, in my opinion. I know it's based off of sweets and like things that you grab and you get, but for me, I'm not really a sweet tooth person like I used to. When I was younger, I used to love candy a lot, and I used to love Halloween a lot, like a ton, and I used to wear costumes. But nowadays, honestly, I just haven't really gotten the time to wear a costume. I haven't got the time to do trick or treating. Well, I am going to trick or treat at some point with my brother because he's younger, and I do everything for my brother. And Joy with the comment saying that The Walking Dead is The Walking Dead, The Rise of the Dead, zombie apocalypse. Yeah, that's a pretty good series as well. And I wonder if they're still making it, honestly. And Malik says, what's your favorite and least favorite Halloween candy? For me, personally, my favorite is like sugary sweet, colorful candies that has anything to do with sour. And my least favorite, honestly, is I wouldn't say candy corn because I actually kind of like candy corn, sorta, but it just depends. But I think my least favorite, honestly, is I'm not a big chocolate guy. I will go eat chocolate if it's like offered to me, but I usually save the chocolates for last. And I usually go for the colorful sweets first. That's my opinion.
David.
I'd like to go back to the comment about the horror games. My favorite horror games I play, in my opinion, is Five Nights at Freddy's, because there's sometimes whenever I play the game, I'm gonna get like jump scare. I'm gonna like something like that whenever I play like it. But go back to Billy's question of the favorite and least favorite Halloween candy. I have a few favorites. I have the top 3 favorites Halloween candies, which is Hershey's Kisses, Kit Kats, and sometimes M&M's. And my least favorite is candy corn. I'm not the candy corn guy, to be honest with you. But that's my favorite and least favorite Halloween candy. Oh, Ella Yesenia's comment. She says that chocolate is horrible.
Brandon, do you have any thoughts about candy? Best and worst candy?
Reese's.
Reese's are the best.
Yeah.
Is there any candy that is horrible that you do not want to get for Halloween?
Nope.
All candy is good candy.
Yeah.
Brian, what about you?
I'll say Kit Kat.
Kit Kats are the best?
Yeah, I do love Kit Kats. Also has Hershey's
Hershey's
and Sneakers.
and Snickers.
Yep.
Rose, what about you?
Okay, so first off, James says, I love Snickers and I hate candy corn, which I'm going to have to agree. I really like Snickers. It's a good Halloween candy. And the candy corn, I feel like it's decent. In my opinion, don't I might get hated, but I feel like candy corn is a little bit overrated at this point because there's so many other Halloween candies to try. For example, caramel apples. I know those are like really popular and other activities too. So I think so. Oh wait, for me, there's some paranormal activity movies that I really like. The same thing that Mela said earlier, and I'm really a big fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
Wait, are they making so is there more than one? I know they made one Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Is there another one coming out or something? Jason?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, exactly. It's actually coming this year, which is the sequel to the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which is called Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I'm really looking forward to.
same thing here.
Yesenia says I would not want to be getting black licorice for Halloween. David?
I agree with Yesenia because I never tried black licorice. There's some say that they like it, and some say they don't. So I'm not doing it myself like trying it. I'm sure they're like disgusting.
Jason?
I think I don't know what licorice is supposed to be, but I heard it's like a less sugary taste kind of texture, and it's like Twizzlers, but if it didn't have any of the sweetness tart to it. And I've never tried black licorice myself, but black licorice honestly just kind of sounds unappeasing. And I think the one time I ever tried something that was similar to black licorice was like one of the jelly bean things, like the ones that has like the gross ones from like what Harry Potter, like the Harry Potter brand. And I'm reading through the comment right now. Yesenia says, Five Nights at Freddy's sister location is the best FNAF game. I agree with you because it's way different compared to the other games. And it takes place in a whole new another location in an underground facility full of the Funtime animatronics instead of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So it's like you're like going through an underground facility of what was left behind in the previous facility. And it's in another different management that was led by somebody else instead of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So I like that comment. That's a very good comment, honestly. And going back to the like licorice part, honestly, it just sounds unappeasing. And I low key kind of forgot about black licorice because I don't think candy corn is that bad, to be honest. Because I've tried candy corn a few times and eh, it's all right. But it depends on the flavor because they have like different versions of just the OG kind. So hopefully, maybe you guys can give it a try on trying some other different types of candy corns instead of just trying the OG ones. If you guys are thinking about that.
We're getting close to wrapping up our live stream here. I was going to say, think about whether you have any other Halloween hot takes that you want to bring up. Rose, what's on your mind?
For me, I want to comment on something that someone said earlier. They said about how trick or treating is really fun, but eating the candies when after coming home is okay. I actually really like the idea of trick or treating because you get to like be someone else for like one day, and you go to like go up to like random people's houses and like ask for like trick or treating, and they give you something in return. I really like the concept because it's like gets competitions, you get activities, and it's also like a really holiday. Like you can spend with your family, like doing different activities, watching movies, or doing anything horror related. I'm not sure if there's an age limit to it because other holidays, you like for Christmas, you can like be old, you could be young, you could be like in the middle, and you could celebrate it all together. But I'm not sure if there's an age limit. Personally, I feel like not really because you could cosplay anytime or you could just do an activity at home. It depends on your it depends on what you want to do.
Speaking of age limits and Halloween celebrations, is anybody wearing a costume for Halloween? And what are you going to be? Jason?
Well, I did say that I may or may not have time to wear a costume, but if I were to wear a costume right now for this year, I think it would be pretty cool if I were to cosplay and wear the costume and have the persona of Jason Voorhees because my name is Jason, and maybe I could wear like something that's like clothes related that look very similar to how like Jason would wear, with like dark jeans and like a black shirt and then like a little jacket thing that he wears, and I would just have to find a hockey mask. And since he's bald, I have hair, so obviously I would have to like try to cover my hair and wear a hoodie, and then I would look like Jason Voorhees. And I would also need like a fake machete, uh, propped. I think it's called the one that you hold it that looks like a machete, but it's actually just a toy or a replica.
Joy says costume police SWAT. And Mila, you were going to say something?
I was gonna say that for Halloween, I was planning on being two different things. I was planning on being a witch or something of the sorts of that. I was gonna try to do this makeup idea that I had saw on TikTok. So I'm gonna do that with like the witch look. And then I also was thinking of being like a construction worker. I don't know, but that was for school, so yeah, that was it.
David.
For me, I was thinking about telling my mom about it, but I would like to dress up as the Mask, where Jim Carrey plays the title character. You know, the green mask and the yellow suit and hair and stuff. I like to be that for Halloween because The Mask is one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies, and it's very funny. I like the phrases that he uses, like, what is this? Smoke it! And it's party time! Party, because I gotta! So yeah, that's all. Think about trying to be for Halloween.
Rose?
Okay. Personally, I'm a bit unprepared for Halloween because I'm not quite sure who to cosplay as. I kind of want to be a Five Nights at Freddy's franchise character, but at the same time, I'm excited for Halloween that's going to happen at my school because even though Halloween doesn't happen on the exact same day, or it does, we tend to dress up on that Friday or like the day closest to it. And every year, for some reason, we have the legend of the banana costume. Basically, every year during lunch, someone comes in with a banana costume. Today it was this one kid who explained themselves that in the last 2 years, they saw someone as a banana costume, but they didn't show up. So this time they took over as the banana costume, and they came in, they had a banana costume, and they just wore it the whole day. It was really funny. It was really cool. So I think the legacy continues of the banana costume for future generations.
Is it the same banana costume or does everyone have their own banana
It's
costume?
the exact same costume. I'm pretty sure you could like find it on Amazon or anything. Shout out. But they just buy the costume and they just wear it on specifically around October, a few weeks before actually Halloween, which just makes it really funny.
Jason?
Okay, that is actually kind of funny. Was it like I'm guessing maybe it's based off of the peanut butter jelly time, that old meme, honestly, that you would hear from like those videos from like the early 2000s. Also, I'm reading the comments from Charmy. She says she's going to be wearing a Jollibee mascot. Oh, I didn't know you were actually going to be working for Jollibee and I put the mascot. That's something. And we got Yesenia with the comment saying, I want to be the female version of Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen. Great anime, by the way.
Anthony, Brandon,
Um,
Brian, what do you
so I
think
want
about
to
Halloween?
be from. So this one of my favorite characters from Naruto. I want to be Kakashi Sensei because that's one of my favorite characters. And then from Jujutsu Kaisen, I just want to be the main character and just yeah, that's one of my main favorite characters.
Great. Brandon, are you going to do a Halloween costume this year?
Nope.
No Halloween costume for Brandon. Brian, what
Cause,
about you? Are you? Oh, go ahead.
Cause I don't want to like do anything for Halloween, and I don't want to get no candy because I'm too old for it, and I'm 20 years old, and I don't want to do it right now. Cause I'm actually 20 years old, and my birthday was yesterday.
Whoa, happy birthday.
Well,
last week. Oh, okay. Happy late birthday and hot take. 20 is too old for Halloween. What do you think?
You could never be too old for Halloween.
Yeah. No.
Thank you, Brandon. Brian, are you going to be doing a Halloween costume this year?
Like I don't feel like dressing up anymore. Just like Brendan said,
No.
I feel old to dress up for Halloween.
Well, that is just a bunch of baloney. Like I said before, you can never be too old to dress up, and even I know that. Even though I'm not much of a fan of Halloween myself. But
Yeah.
if I did get the chance to wear a costume, then I would probably be Jason Voorhees, like I said before.
As I would say, there was the comment from both Yesenia and Charmy that you're never too old. You can never too old for that. And I agree with that. You should never get too old for wearing a Halloween costume.
Bonus question from James. Who is the strongest killer of all of the Halloween and scary movies and slasher movies? Who's the strongest killer? What do we think? David, what's your opinion?
My opinion that the strongest killer is Michael Myers because every time whenever they make a movie, whenever he gets get killed, like no matter what, he keeps like getting back up of it, which I don't know how Michael Myers keeps still alive after he's been like shot or stabbed or heck, even got himself a fire, which I don't know how is that even possible, but that's what I think that Michael Myers is the strongest killer in my opinion.
Jason?
I'm going to have to honestly disagree with you, even though I don't know much about Michael Myers myself. But I do believe that Jason Voorhees is by far the most indestructible killer in the franchise. And okay, I get it. I get it. Michael Myers, he's very similar to Jason, but I don't think he's as brutal as Jason Voorhees, because even though the guy is slow, he will eventually catch up to you and stalk you without even realizing. And he always leaves with this and that's how that's how you know that he's like close. While Michael Myers is just dead silent, like he just does not say anything. And Freddy Krueger, okay, I don't know much about Freddy Krueger either, but he's supposed to be a dream demon, so he's not supposed to be real. He's only real if you make it real in your dreams. And Chucky is a doll. I could honestly throw him like a football if I wanted to. I don't think he's that threatening in my opinion because he's a midget, and I could just literally stomp him. Or unless if he's like super quick and nimble, then I'm cooked. But I believe Jason Voorhees is by far one of the most indestructible killers, in my opinion.
Joy also agrees with you that it's Jason. Any other opinions on the strongest killer of all the slasher Halloween movies?
I definitely agree. I think it is Michael Myers. It's between Michael Myers and Jason, but I'm leaning more towards Michael Myers because I don't really remember any of Jason's slasher movies. I just know that it's kind of like he was haunting a certain camp area, so he was just coming back as a spirit in certain movies. But Michael Myers, he just would not die, so it was like I'm leaning towards Michael Myers because that man, yeah, he was not dying at all.
Jason?
Yeah, he was indestructible. Also, the name you're looking for that he resides is Camp Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake was the name you were forgetting about.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up here. Brian, do you want to do our outro, our ending for us? Brian, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
okay.
like what?
So the outro is up on the screen, and you get to make up your very own ending for everybody.
Like natural? What?
Yep. So just let us know. This has been Power Your Story podcast. Do you see the message up on the screen?
Wait a minute. Is that it says StreamYard?
No, it's in purple at the bottom of the screen. It says this
Wait
has
a
been
minute.
Power Your Story podcast. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, I see it. It says this has been Power Your Story podcast from After School Matters and Creative Imposter Studios. Thank you for watching.
And then what's a fun ending that you can give everybody? Like, should we tell them stay safe? Don't let Jason and Michael Myers get you. What should we say?
All right, and stay safe and stay healthy and have a wonderful day.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.